Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you. We've got a Whitebeard versus Doflamingo matchup. So, had to bring out some of the OP02, OP03 goats that have still been sticking around in the meta, and just see how they fare against some of the OP04 deck lists. And yeah, this was actually a phenomenal match. We had some really good games here. I think we played 2 games in total, and it just turned out to be, you know, just 1, really informational, 2, also enlightening as to how the green-purple Doffy can be a little unfortunate sometimes. You know, when you're searching and you're trying to find the cards that you need, there is just a certain number of bricks that you can find in the deck that really make your hand extremely hard to play with. But we do end up having some good games. I just pass on turn 1 after he gets the Nami search out, and yeah, we're gonna see a 6k swing probably coming down for the first. Usually first life is pretty free for me, but since he does go 7, yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that. 6, I might have 2k countered out just to be, you know, just to be a little defensive, because I know that there's many turns in the future that I'm gonna have to deal with multiple 6k, if not 7k swings coming down. He does find Radical Beam right off the rip as well, so we know that he has a 2k counter and a Radical Beam in hand. Pretty good just to start off. I am going to go up to 4 Dawn here. I choose to rest the 4 and just play the Uta, and I'll go ahead and pass. It doesn't seem like we have a lot of the wanted cards that we want, you know, in the hand. We're looking for Nami. We're looking for... I think we have Sugar. Sugar's actually pretty decent in this matchup. But we don't have the Nami. We don't have Guild Tesoro, I believe. Or Tesoro, excuse me. That somebody was correcting me in my stream the other day that I was mispronouncing that. And I also got corrected on Buena Fiesta. It says that on the sim, so I kind of got, you know, messed up with that, but it's Buena Festa, and I do apologize. You know, I was just trying to have a party out here. But we'll see a 6k swing coming down with Doffy. 5 Dawn. Looks like a Diamante play for me. Diamante just plays so well into red. I really love this card. I know that it's not everybody's favorite because it isn't searchable at the moment, and it does, you know, take away that Dawn if you want to use that swing, but you don't always have to. But that's the beauty of this card, is just being able to reactivate it at the end of every single turn and go back to having a blocker on the field. So now we've got Uta, we've got Diamante, and something I'm trying to get a little bit better about is using the Uta appropriately. But we do see a 6k swing coming down. We'll see another 6k. We'll just go ahead and rest Diamante, trashing Sugar to counter out of it. But no need to use any of our 2 Dawn plays just yet. I'm thinking there's a possibility we might see Ace right now, so I do save, you know, 2 Dawn just in case I want to reactivate Diamante. I knew that he could bring him down to 3, swing 7. I'd reactivate and then counter out. It's just a really important card in this matchup. Now, it looks as though we do have, you know, some options. 7-drop Luffy's looking pretty good. It looks like we have the 7-drop Luffy Brook Nami combo. I kind of am trying to decide whether I want to get the card draw this turn or not, but I will just go for a 7k swing into the Atmos, start to pick out some of the resources from the hand. So there goes the Sanji. I'm okay with that. And we'll go 7 for Luffy, Brook, and Nami. I'll just go ahead and pass the turn. And now we get to restand Diamante because we do have 2 active Dawn at the end of turn. Now, I will say that this is a really... This would be a super nitpicky situation, but technically when you have 2 things that are end of turn, you get to choose the order of, you know, that priority, and you could reactivate Diamante before you activate your Dawn, and somebody could be really nitpicky and rule shark you and say, well, you didn't have 2 active Dawn, so you can't restand him just yet. And since you chose to do that, he would go back to rested. I mean, there's some crazy people out there, but it is what it is. And we'll see a 6k and an 8k swing come down. I think we just use the Uta block, no big deal. And then Yeah, still with the 2 active Dawn, he does have some options here. We could see like 5-drop Rush Luffy, we could see 4-drop Vanilla, maybe another Thatch. You know, we still have Leader Swing to deal with, so we will see the 6, and I will just go ahead and rest the Luffy comfortably here, because if he does play any cards down, I do have Diamante just in case for the block. I also have events for restand. And yeah, we're looking at it to be in a solid spot right now. We've got my opponent going down to 1 life the following turn. We'll be able to pull resources and probably have a good 3 blockers on field by the time we pass our next turn. So really like this spot. This is like an optimal curve, other than potentially having Nami on that turn 2 would have been nice, but this is great so far. But we do see Rush Luffy coming down. Rush Luffy we could see some attached on coming in, but we'll just see a 7k swing. I believe this is going to go to life. I can't be too certain, but I believe it's at life. It might be at the 7-drop Luffy, and if so, it's just a pretty easy counter. If it is at life, yeah, okay, so it was at the 7-drop Luffy, so I do just 1k counter out of that, and he passes. 3 active Dawn, though. Pretty substantial. I was not expecting him to have 3 active Dawn at the end of that turn. And yeah, now I can just kind of work with what we got on the board, but also simultaneously maybe get down like another Uta blocker. We're going to use that Nami search first, of course. I'm just trying to think of where I want to go with this. I can go at life, but it feels like I'm just giving him the free resource from the next turn, because I know I'm not going to kill him this turn. So I really just want to go into, you know, what's on board and see if we can get anything. I will take the Buena Festa, though, for the 2k counter, but also potential search right there. 6k at the Luffy, though. We do get a 1k counter out of it. I'll go another 6k at the Luffy, and we'll probably just continuously pull resources. I'm hoping to pull some of those 2k counters out of his hand, but we get the 4-drop Marco. Now, I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty substantial. Well, we have 2 life left, and he's going to be in a no-life position after this turn. I would have thought he would have kept Marco, but 6k swing does get a 2k, so we're now we're getting information that he's probably out of 1k counters in hand if he had already used Marco, and now we're starting to get 2ks. So I'm pretty happy with this. And now I think I'm just considering whether I want to swing with Luffy or not. I could swing with a 7-drop Luffy and then play like an Uta or something, and I think I do decide to do that because I can always restand it with Spider's Web, which is really nice, and he does guard point out of that. And I'll just go ahead and rest 4, play the Uta, reactivate 2 Dawn, and then get Diamante up and running. Love this because now when my opponent swings... Oh, and I actually think I make a mistake here. I think I forget to block with Uta first, which was a bit of a rookie mistake. So, blocking with Uta here is like crucial first step in defense of this turn. Oh, little camera shake. But yeah, the Uta can rest either the 5-drop Luffy or the Atmos, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, there was a bunch of people bumping the table, so I decided, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go move the camera a little bit because I don't know how people are just bumping into the table over and over. It's like everybody was having an earthquake around here. I was like, all right, dude, cool. But yeah, Uta is definitely a play that I really don't want to forget. And we'll see a 5k swing coming down. I don't know whether this is at Nami or not, but I actually do remember to use the Uta ability, resting the Luffy. Kudos to me. I do decide to just let it go, though. I think that might be indicative of me not having a ton of counter in hand, but at the same time, I mean, like, it is what it is. I think that Uta's done her job, so it's not like I really need to save the card. But yeah, loving where this is going right now. I think we're in a great spot, and having the Luffy being rested already just feels phenomenal. But we'll see a 5k swing. I don't know again if this is at Nami or if this is at life. It might be at the Nami, but I truly don't remember off the top of my head what was the exact situation. So we'll just see a Diamante rest right here. Interesting, but I mean, it just kind of wastes 3 Dawn for free. I've got Spider's Web in hand. I've got a 2k counter and a 1k counter as well. So pretty good overall to be able to defend. Just reactivating Spider's Web will be reactivating 7-drop Luffy with Spider's Web will be really nice. Just depends on how he swings and where he swings first. But we'll see an 8k swing into Diamante. This is definitely going to be Spider's Web here to bring Diamante up to 10 and then restand the 7-drop Luffy. But sometimes I surprise myself and I do something crazy. So let's see. What are we thinking? I might actually just counter out, maybe just to act as though I don't have any events. So that could be my thought process, but I guess with 4 Dawn, it's not that risky to do that either. But no, I just will go ahead and restand the Luffy, bring a Diamante up to the good old-fashioned 10k right there. Now, he still has a 6k leader swing and a 6k Atmos swing. Depending on how he does it, we're probably just going to save the Diamante or the Nami. We still have a 2k and a 1k counter in hand. But yeah, this isn't looking too great for my opponent here. He's going to go 7. I think he's probably choosing 7 into the Nami. I feel like she's more or less done her job. Doesn't feel super necessary to save it, but oh no, it's 7 into Diamante, so we will just 2k counter out of that. And now I'll rest the Luffy and 1k counter. Go into 1 card in hand, but I have no worries in the world. My opponent has no life, no blockers, and only 2 Dawn active. We can essentially just swing pretty much risk-free with all the stuff we have on board. And I choose not to use Nami ability just in case he does happen to have like a crazy number of counter. I will just go 6 with Diamante, not even bothering to restand him as well. I'll go 6 with Doffy, and then yeah, the rest on Luffy. Good match though. Good match overall. I feel like we played it really well, but we also drew, into what we needed and searched what we needed as well. I think Diamante is just so good in these red matchups. It's arguably terrible in blue matchups because it just gets bottom decked a lot. However, I have noticed that playing it into blue, I tend to like to get it down on the board before I play Guild Tesoro. And the reason why is because if I play that card, usually speaking, 9 times out of 10, they'll use 3,000 Worlds or Red Rock or something like that to go ahead and get rid of it. And I mean, I don't know. That's just what I've learned from testing. It just feels like, all right, I'm kind of putting this out as bait. Yeah, I sort of go down 1 Dawn because they're spending 4 for, a 5. But it is, at the same time, not really that bad in my eyes because the Guild Tesoro makes up for that entire situation or just mishap of losing the Diamante. But going into a game 2 here, this is where I learned the hard way in this match that sometimes you can just I wouldn't say low roll. I don't think I've really low rolled the deck. It just felt like the timings of every draw, for either whether it was from life or from hand, was really bad. You'll see I just played a Buena Festa. Keep that in mind that this is a 2k counter card. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, I think we only ever got 2 2k counters the entire game. Which is pretty bad considering that I run like 11 in the deck and multiple searchers to try and search out some of those 2k counters. So we had to rely pretty heavily on events as well as some of the blockers and 1k counters this game. It was definitely, it felt more like an uphill battle versus having like a solid, hand, a solid board. But sometimes it's just like that. But he picks up Atmos off the Ezo search, and then we'll see Nami picking up... oh, he forgot to show it, but he'll show it now. It's just a 2k counter Sanji, and just goes ahead and passes. So now we'll go up to 3 Dawn, which we will definitely be seeing the Nami, and I'll just go ahead and pass. I don't really care about not being able to swing this turn. I really just like having the Nami on board. It helps manage the situation. It helps get cards in hand that we need. And we take that first life swing, though, and he goes ahead and plays Atmos I believe that's our second 2K counter right there, Chopper, that we just drew. And I think that it doesn't get much better for the rest of the game. But yeah, I've kind of got decisions here. I could play Diamante. I think Diamante is just super good in this matchup, so just gonna go ahead and do it. But felt like I could have potentially swung with, you know, Nami and Leader, and I think that I had another Nami in hand, but I could be wrong. But I think that I do. But he's going up to 6K. 6K here. He's got me on the odds. So we do 2K counter out of that with Chopper. We'll see a 6K swing. I'll just go ahead and take it. And yeah, we've been adding a bunch of blockers to hand, but definitely, you know, looking a little light on the counterparts. So gonna have to decide whether actually, now that I think about it, I feel as though with the lack of counter I had in hand, I should have blocked with Diamante there and then 1K countered. But no, yeah, because he's only at 6 Dawn. He couldn't have used Ace here. Ace was also a factor that didn't come into play the previous game. So him not having Ace really did make me defending my board pretty, well, I wouldn't say pretty easy, but like easier for sure. It made just certain situations a lot better. But we'll see 5 up for the Luffy. He's going to swing 6. Am I considering taking this? I feel like I should just block with Diamante and then just counter out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and we do get rid of an Uta there and draw into another Nami. I think we have like 2 or 3 Namis in hand and 1 on board. It's pretty insane. My hand is just filled with non-counter cards. I do remember during this match just trying to think to myself, like, how do I get out of this situation? This is bad. But I'll just go 6 into the Luffy, do another little search. My only option there was 7-drop Luffy. I had a Sugar and a 10-cost Doffy, so it just felt like the whole game was kind of being forced. Unfortunately, it just felt really bad. But we will just swing 7, get another 2K out of hand. And I think we're just going to play Nami here, probably, and just do an on-play search, if I had to take a guess. But yeah, if you look at my hand, I'm pretty sure there was only 2 1K counters in there at the moment. So Nami's probably going to end up being the play. We also might see Uta, but yeah, I guess Uta is not a bad idea. It does help, you know, just getting rid of Atmos or Luffy for that turn, having one of them not swing continuously. So, but now he's going up to 8 Dawn, and 8 Dawn's pretty scary considering that, you know, he can play Ace with no repercussions whatsoever. Ace just good, lowers down probably the Diamante and the Nami. Yep, so lowers down both of those. Nami's now at 2, which is absolutely terrible. We'll see a 2K swing coming in with Izo. I think I'm just gonna block with Uta. I'll do a Dawn -1 to rest the Luffy. I'm really trying to protect the Nami here. I don't think it's a phenomenal idea, but I will Punk Gibson the Atmos. Not bad, honestly, all things considered. Like, having the majority of his board rested, but it is kind of tough. I'll just let it go. And now we have a 7K swing potentially coming in at the Uta or at life. And Uta's done her job, so I think we're probably just going to let this go, considering we don't have any counter power in hand either. So, yeah, there goes Uta. But now we're down kind of bad. The board has definitely flipped pretty hard. Ace is a really good answer here, and just not having any of those counter cards because of some of those, I wouldn't say missed searches, but forced searches as a whole was really difficult. And ooh, another camera movement there. Everybody's just getting up and bumping the table. But we will see 7K into the 5-drop Luffy. Easy counter for him, but I just need to get some cards out of his hand. Yeah, we'll restand 2 Dawn, get Diamante up again, and just pass it over. It's a little nerve-wracking because I know that, you know, we haven't been able to do any damage to life. We haven't really been able to pull as many resources from his hand as possible because our board has been kind of hard to build simultaneously while we have, you know, a lack of counter power in hand. I guess the one fortunate thing was that I was continuously drawing into some events, which is usually my issue because they get bottom decked a lot through searches. But we'll see another ace coming down. I think this was going on Diamante and Luffy. So Diamante's at 3K, Luffy's at 4. And yeah, that means we're probably just going to see a lot of dangerous swings coming at the life. I'll probably end up having to... yeah, I think we're in a situation where we have to just take both life. And I mean, we could counter out. Oh, that's actually pretty decent. Punk Gibson to rest the ace. But he's still got that second ace swing. But yeah, we're lacking on the counter power so bad. But I'm just gonna have to hope that I can swing for game the following turn. So this is tough. This is a really tough decision on like how defensive do I go, you know? I think getting rid of the Luffy made me feel confident enough to just take the life. And now we are gonna see a 7K swing. I will just block with Luffy and restand him, bringing him up from 4K to 8. And then, oh, I see a 6K swing with leader, and Luffy's still at 4, so super inconvenient. I forgot about that. Doesn't help. I'm probably just gonna have to let the Diamante go now because I have nothing to counter with in hand. I think I have like 2 7-drop Luffys and like 2 Namis or something. But yeah, we're just gonna block with the Diamante. Unfortunately, was really hoping to get that extra swing with him, but in the following turn, but just didn't work out that way. Yeah, so we see a Whitebeard Pirates search. He does pick up the 4-drop Marco blocker. So definitely unfortunate that he gets one of those dead cards out of hand. And now we're just in a spot where there's no shot we're winning the following turn. Because, you know, 5-drop Luffy, just put everything underneath him and swing after you've already swung with all of your other cards. Yeah, we're dead. So I will just go ahead and swing 6 with Nami and just try for the best here. He does counter out with a 1K, and I know that he's got either the events in hand or he's got the stuff. So I just go, I think it's 10K here. Yeah, 10K, and then we'll just go 11K. And he knows he's got it. I was like, yeah, I got no counter power in hand, man. So 2 guard points just answers that real fast. And yeah, 2 7-drops, a Nami, a Sugar, as well as a 10-drop Doflamingo. I looked at it and we were counting it out. I was like, dude, I drew 2K counters that game. That is wild. That's super unfortunate. And it's hilarious that when we were looking at the top of the deck, they were all just right there at the top, within the top like 8 cards. But pretty good matches overall. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.